So in this next example 6, a die is tossed and a coin is flipped. We want to find the sample space and determine the number of elements in the sample space. Again, we're tossing a die and flipping a coin. That's two separate things. So the first thing that we have is a die, and then we have a coin. Because it's two things, we're going to use a table. A die could be anything from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. A coin could be heads or tails. So if we look at this and we create a chart, we can look at the total possible outcomes for this experiment. We could roll a 1 and get a heads, 1 in tails, 2 in heads, 2 in tails, and continue so forth to finish the table. Now that I've completed the table, I can fill in the sample space and count the total number. After writing out the sample space, I see that there is a total of 12 elements in the sample space. Okay, so we use a table when we have two experiments happening, but what happens if we have more than two? What happens if we have, for instance, 3 things happening? So what can we use? Another technique is a tree diagram, and a tree diagram works great when you have 3 or more things that are happening. So not just rolling 1 die or 2 die, rolling 3 or more die, or whatever it is happening, 3 or more things. So for instance, this first one is about what if we were trying to build a computer? Okay. The first choice that it says here we have is a customer can choose from 2 RAM sizes. So what do? I start off in the center and I create 2 choices for RAM choices. After we've made the choice of RAM, we go on to the next and we have 3 screen sizes that we can pick from. So no matter the RAM that we pick, we have 3 different screen sizes that we can pick from. So that gives me all of those branches right there. After we make a screen choice, we can look at 2 preloaded applications. So here's my application choice. No matter which one I pick, I have 2 different choices that I can make, no matter the screen size or RAM that I picked. So following that chain, I can see, for instance, this one right here. Let me go ahead and highlight it. The first one means I made the first choice for RAM, the first choice of screen, and the first choice for the apps. This gives us our total in our sample space of everything that can happen for the entire thing. So a tree diagram can work when there's 2 or more experiments. When there's 2 experiments, I prefer using a table. 3 or more for sure, I use a tree diagram.